Hey, what's happening, Roland? Well, today is Friday, and it's time for the Friday update, and it's the end of September. In fact, it's the second or third day of fall, and it's been an exciting week. I've gotten back, of course, from up in Minnesota, and the first thing I did was last Friday. I went down to my A1 area down deep in the Everglades, and come here, I'll show you. I took this little canoe, and you probably saw me. I was actually out on last Friday's venture, and we were out in this little canoe right here, and I had my trolling motor, and I had my GoPro cameras. And by the way, I dropped a GoPro in the lake and lost that. It was a bad deal. And when I made the video, actually I caught several really good, nice bass, 3 and 4 pounds. And then I ended the video, but what I ended up catching was an 8 1/4 after that. So later on in the afternoon, I caught this great big giant bass, about that big, on a big topwater plug. So that was really, really quite a day. So when I came back Saturday, I said, you know, this little canoe's fine, but it's so small, I really need to get my 1542 boat ready. Now this is my 1542. Let me just show you my 1542 real quick. And that is, it's kind of covered up because it's kind of a secret deal right now. What I got is, let me get this cable. I got a little microphone cable here. This is my 1542 car top carrier. Now some of the issues down there in the Everglades are that you can't use a trailer where I'm going, to say one place. Well, anyway, I have to put this in the back of my truck. So I had to mount a winch, and I'm not going to show it to you, but I mounted a great big winch in the back of my brand new O'Reilly truck, and it's got a big spectral cable. It's a 3,000 pound cable. It's a 3,000 pound winch, and I winch this boat, and I got it all covered up right now, but it's got a deck on it. I'll have a trolling motor on it. It's actually big enough for 3 people, and I'll have to winch it in the back of the truck. And then of course on just Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are the only days that particular area is open to fish. And like I did, I went down there this last week and found moving water and had all kind of great fishing. It was just a fantastic video. Well, then I went on this week, and I decided I'd go try a new place. There's a new place that's north of the St Marsh area, and that's up near the Fellsmere area. You see me fish the St Marsh all the time, and the Headwaters Lake. Those are 2 great places. I've caught a lot of fish, particularly with moving water. There's this big hurricane coming right now. There's plenty of water. They're discharging water all over the state of Florida. And this week they just got every floodgate open because they're trying to get the water levels low enough because this big hurricane's coming like Monday or Tuesday. So anyway, I went to this place called Three Forks. Now, Three Forks is part of the St John's River Marsh. It's some 50,000 acres of water. Look what I caught. Look at this big fish. Look at this big fish. Look at this thing. Look at that thing. That is a gigantic bass. That fish is just an ounce or 2 less than 10 pounds. He's like 9.7 or 9.8 pounds. Just a giant fish. And I caught that one on a little chatterbait in some hyacinths. What here was a bunch of current. You can't see it, but the current's moving this way, going underneath those hyacinths. And there's like a little canal here, and all these hyacinths are all covering up the canal. So all these fish are kind of right on the edge of that thing, and you're throwing a thing, and I caught like 10 in a row. And I'll tell you what I caught them on. How many times have I told you, fishing a strange lake that I've never fished before, the number one way to catch them is take a 5-inch 297 green pumpkin Cinco like that one and throw it. Okay, this is what I did. This is the same rod I used up in Minnesota, by the way. I got 20-pound braid, and I got that little Cinco. Now there's current there where you see that picture, and I take a 1/16 of an ounce lead weight, little weight, and I have just straight braid, and I was just taking a real accurate cast. And it was really something, because like for 10 shots in a row, like 10 different times in a row, it would be this quick. I'd throw it out there, it would hit the water, I'd go 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, I'd say, there he is, and I'd set the hook. In 2 or 3 seconds, I'd hit a fish like in 2 or 3 seconds. And I did that 10, 12 times in a row. And then finally, I decided, I said, well, there might be another way to catch fish. So I picked up a topwater, that didn't work. I picked up a swim bait, that didn't work. But then I picked up that chatterbait. It's actually the jackhammer series, more expensive chatterbait. And I threw it out there on a regular casting rod, and I had 50-pound braid. And on that particular fish, When I made the cast to the edge of the hyacinths, I just picked it up one time and just let it sink. The first time it sunk, the first time I moved it, bam, a big 10-pounder hit. What a big trophy fish. Woo, fish like that are just the chances of a lifetime. I keep talking about the Florida trophy catch because there's a lot of neat things you get for that. Not only do you get a gift certificate from Bass Pro Shop for about $100, you get a great big nice certificate from the state of Florida, signifying that you've caught this Florida trophy fish and released it. See, that's part of the Florida trophy catch deal, is a catch and release program. You don't keep them, you release them. So I had real good accurate scales. I got pictures of the scale, weighing the fish, know it's a certified thing, and I'll send it in and get the Florida trophy catch. I've gotten dozens of them this year, and that's kind of when I take my guide parties, say to Headwaters or to St Marsh or any of those areas over around Fellsmere, Lake Okeechobee or down to A1, it doesn't make a difference where I take the guide parties. We're always in quest of the Florida trophy Florida trophy catch, which is that 8-pound plus bass. Anyway, that's kind of what's happening right now. We're really getting ready for a couple things. Well, we're also getting ready for the big hurricane. I forgot what the name of it is, but I have a big generator here. I also have plywood. See these big sections of plywood? We're going to have to start plywooding the windows shut, because the last time we had the hurricane, let me tell you what happened. We hit Hurricane Irma, was here about 6 years ago, and what I did was my wife Judy and I, we stayed in that house. It had a different roof on it at the time, and we had more trees in the yard at the time, and we had more buildings in the back at the time. And the Hurricane Irma took out the roof, took out 26 trees. We lost 3 buildings out back and 2 sets of underwear. Anyway, that's what happened with Hurricane Irma. I mean, it blew so hard, 140 miles an hour, that it blew water through the side of the house, through the siding and through the eaves and through the cracks in the window. The water was just gushing in little pinholes in the side of the wall, because 140 mile an hour wind is just pushing water into the house. And we had just water damage, and we had all kind of problems. But anyway, it was pretty scary, let me tell you. We lost the roof as well. So anyway, that's what happened on the last hurricane. On this hurricane, we're probably going to stay in this building. See, when I built this building, this is a big 80 by 80 big building. I have an air-conditioned apartment, and I have an air-conditioned upstairs tackle room. Well, because I'm 6 miles from the coast, they made me put in hurricane, everything was hurricane thing, so I had to put in double thickness concrete headers. I had to put all these special supports in, and now this building is rated for 140 mile an hour direct hit hurricane. 140. And it hit here at 140 the last time, and this building was 100% perfect, not one speck of damage on this building. So this is probably where we're going to spend the hurricane, in that apartment in there, because it's probably the safest place on the property. In the meantime, we flooded. I had bass in my backyard out of this canal, and right here 10 steps from where I keep my boats in the back end, and there were bass swimming around and everything else. It was just a flooded up mess. So that's what we have here in Florida to work with. We have all the stuff ready, and generators ready, and boards ready to put up on the windows, and we're going to have to get to work to do that. So I'll let you know next week how we fared with the storm. But I have one other guide trip, and I got a guide trip Monday before the hurricane hits, and I told the guy, I said, listen, this will be a huge amount of water being discharged. We'll probably go over to St Marsh. The water will be blowing in 2 or 3 different places, big canal systems and big pumps that come in, and the bass will be just stacked in there. We'll catch them on topwater, we'll catch them on chatterbaits, we'll catch them on shiners, we'll catch them on jigs. They'll bite like crazy, because that water movement is the key to some of the best fishing of the year. So that's kind of what's happening in my world. Just getting ready for a big storm and catching a bunch of fish in the process. We'll see you again soon, and hey, thanks for watching.